I should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Hello, Cherries fans, and welcome back to Cherry AM. Welcome to you wherever you're watching in the world. And as always, on a Friday, of course, I'm joined by Paul from Oz. Paul, good to have you with me as always. How are you doing?
Yeah, real good, Maddie. We've got a great day here. We've got about 14 degrees and just beautiful. Sunny weather, really nice. I've just been to my grandson's 7th birthday party. Lots of chocolate cake, unfortunately, but just give him a 30-second shout out to Max, my grandson, who was 7 today. Happy birthday, Max, and the boys. That's Tom and also George. They keep us all busy, mate. But lovely age. I can't even remember being 7, Matt, but
nor can I.
Great age, mate.
Yeah, no, bless him, and happy birthday to Matt.
He actually plays soccer for Barrel, a local team, Barrel, in under 7s, and I love to go to watch him, which is great. And his brother Tom also plays soccer for Wolves, Wollongong Wolves. That's great.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely. It's nice to see that they're both keeping up the family tradition of liking football, which is all good.
Correct. And apparently the younger one, George, he's he'll be 4 Boxing Day, and they seem to think he's going to be just the same. He loves kicking the ball around all day long. It's crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
He'll be 4 on Boxing Day, really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, same day as me. Same birthday as me. Yeah, same day as me. Just 36 years apart. But it's great. It's great. It must be great for you to be able to go and watch them play football.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
No, great. I'm sure it's lovely. Well, today we've got a few topics myself and Paul are going to be discussing, which I'm trying to remember what those topics are now. But I only went through it. Yeah, but. What topics is it, Paul? Do you want to?
Yeah, we're going to go to the comments, and we're going to talk about David Brooks and the right back position, the fight for the right back position, mate. Everybody has different views, don't they, on that one?
Yeah, it'd be good to hear from the guys in the chat. So, if you want to start chucking your comments in now on that one, who you'd play at right back, and obviously myself and Paul are going to give our opinions. And I believe then you're going to touch on the Brighton game from your perspective, because obviously my points are all in the match preview.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on the team that I would pick for Saturday. Which is different from what most people have picked, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see, won't we? But who knows? And we're going to talk about Brighton, as we say. We're going to touch on that. We're going to talk on something that I've stumbled upon, which is I find really interesting. I hadn't realised how we have a large Spanish connection at Bournemouth. We're building a Spanish connection, starting at the top and going right down, which I'm really interested in talking about that, Matt, later on.
Yeah,
Our Spanish
excellent.
connection involves managers and players, and we've also going to talk about Mr. Truffeur at some point at the end of the show.
Yes.
There for a minute.
Yeah, and how he's likened to a certain former England international. Well, let's get straight underway. Let's jump straight into the comments, and then we'll cover off our first topic for the show. So hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us. If you could all please just do us a little favour, it would make myself and Paul very happy, and also everybody at the channel very happy. Please smash those likes on the video if you can, and if you haven't also done already, please subscribe to the channel as well. I know that we're approaching the 2K mark now, I believe. So yeah, if you guys in the chat could all do that for me, that would be excellent. First one in the chat this morning, and someone that joins us on a regular basis, and that is, of course, David DaCosta. Good morning, Matt. Afternoon, Paul. And hello to all. Melbourne, 13 degrees and cloudy. Okay, it's nice here this morning. I'm in Poole, and there's a few scattered clouds in the sky, but most of it's blue. So got to make them that before that winter creeps in, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
And someone that's always in the chat every morning is Chris Hubble. Morning, Matt and Paul. Up the cherries. Yeah, up the cherries indeed, Chris. I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see you in the chat again a little bit later on. Some bloke called Malcolm's joined us. Hey, Malcolm. Yeah, everybody knows Malcolm. Good morning, Matt, Paul, and everyone in the chat. Good morning to you, Malcolm. Hope you're well. Darren, morning, Matt and Paul. 27 sunny blue skies in Perth.
Wow.
So one side is, I take it Melbourne's the other side, which is 13 degrees and cloudy, but it looks like Darren's got the better of the weather today. But yeah, if you're watching and you haven't checked out the channel this week, there has been a show released where myself and Darren talk about his time as being a fan of Bournemouth and why he fell in love with Bournemouth, and just his journey on being a Bournemouth fan, really. So interesting one, good chat with Darren. So yeah, if you haven't checked that out already, please do. Yes.
Sydney Supporters Club. Yeah. Cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Friday, and that can only mean the Aussie Pool Show. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that is Pool's slot. Friday. Yeah, hope you're well. Dan Short, morning, Matt and Paul. It's very cloudy on the way to Swanage Railway for the Autumn Steam Gala.
Yeah.
Predictions for the weekend. Well, Dan, my prediction for the weekend is in the match preview, and we'll hear Paul's very, very shortly. Hope supporters group again. Hope Max, Tom, and George will be future Cherry supporters of the Southern Highlands.
Well,
yeah, I'm sure they can be.
Yeah, my grandson, whose birthday it was today, had an AFC Bournemouth scarf draped over his chair in his bedroom. The 7-year-old, he did. He has. Yeah. So they're on it. Their favourite player, all of them, they love Semenyo, which is great. Who doesn't? You know, they love him. They think he's great, Semenyo. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you never know. They might have a shirt brought back for him soon at some point.
Yeah.
On their lovely granddad.
Thank you.
Malcolm, Hill to start at right back with Jimenez to get some minutes later. Yeah, interesting. We'll give our thoughts on that in a second. Paul, you need to correct Matt's pronunciation on how to say
Melbourne.
Is it Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Not Melbourne. Melbourne. Maybe that's my Dorset twang. Maybe that's my Dorset twang.
Yeah, some people say it one way or the other. Yeah.
Liam, great to see you as always, buddy. Hope you're well. Morning, Matt and Paul. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. Yeah, I think everybody is like exhausted from just international break, aren't they? So, yeah, it'd be good to get back out there and watch some, I suppose, decent football, really. And Paul, good morning, everyone. Yeah, great to see you, Paul. Thank you for joining us as always. Hope you're well as well. That brings us on to the first topic of this morning. Obviously, we've had some contract extensions this week, which the guys have covered over the week, obviously with James Hill. But obviously, yesterday, late afternoon, the news broke that David Brooks had signed a new deal, which is going to keep him at Bournemouth until 2029, which will take him up to the age of 32, I think. So it looks like we're going to get 4 more years or so from David Brooks. I'm really happy with the signing. I think he's playing some of his best football at the minute. I think he's back to his very, very best. So I'm very, very pleased to not only see him in the starting 11 at the minute, but also to see him sign this extension. Paul, your thoughts? I think it's excellent, but what do you think?
Look, you look back at the history of David Brooks when he first arrived at Bournemouth. I think he came from Sheffield United. And I can always remember Eddie Howe saying that at some point there that he was one of the best technical players that he'd ever worked with at Bournemouth. And that's always stuck with me. And I think we've seen it, the volley against Everton when he got the winner. He played some beautiful balls, like with the outside of his foot. I think he put Semenyo in, didn't he, with that pass in the last game. He's a class act, mate. And to go through the poor lad, what he has been through, and you remember how his performances were starting to drop just before he got diagnosed with that illness. That would explain a lot too. They were just, he wasn't the player he was. You know what I mean? He went into that area where his performances were dropping a bit, and now we know why. But to come back, he's like a new signing this year. He went to America. He stood out in the American games in the summer break, and I haven't seen him have a bad game yet this season. I can't wait. He's a definite starter for me on Saturday. 100% he'll be on it. And okay, he might play 60, 65, 70 minutes. That's great. And then get a pair of fresh legs on. But he plays some wonderful balls, some lovely through balls up there. He's really hitting form, mate. I'm very happy that he's signed. I look back on the Southampton when he went to Saints on loan. I was disappointed when he went to Saints and he broke his arm. He's been through it, hasn't he? Brooksy?
Yeah.
He's been through it.
I think when he was loaned out to Saints, I thought that may have spelt the end of him in a Bournemouth shirt.
I agree.
Which I would have been gutted about because, I love the player. I think he's great. And but no, I think it's testament to his character that he's come back after a loan spell. And he's earned his place back. And, earlier on this year, he scored that great winner against Everton. Like you say, since pre-season, he seems to be on really good form again. So, all in all, it's excellent to see. And I think it's very, very important that, we do keep hold of our best players. And like I say, this contract takes him up to the age of 32. So whether he stays beyond that, would be, obviously we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully he's going to see us to the end of that 5-year plan that Bill's got, and hopefully he may make an appearance for Bournemouth in Europe one day. Fingers crossed.
And you know what, mate? If you truly follow Bournemouth, you look at that forward line. You look at Semenyo. Who can handle Semenyo? They can't handle him. Every club in the Premier League would love to have him. Every team in that Premier League would sign that bloke. You've got him on the left, and you've got Brooksy on the right, and you've got Ever in the middle. But everybody's concentrating. They must have a team talk. They must say, well, the danger man's Semenyo. And they're overlooking the obvious that Brooksy's out there on the other side. They're not looking at him as closely as they're looking at Semenyo. And Brooksy gets in, gives him that space, puts those lovely low balls in, through balls, and we're away and run. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a Bournemouth supporter, mate, at this time for me.
definitely is. Paul, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Long may it continue.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, Brooksy, he's put pen to paper and he's staying at Bournemouth until 2029. So that's
Very happy, mate. Very happy. Yeah.
very happy. Very happy, Paul, this morning with that news. Let's jump back quickly into the comments. I think the club seems to be reviewing everyone's contracts. I just hope they renew the main one, Andoni. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of talk here with Andoni. I think, and like I said on the Dean Court social, it did come up on that with myself and Craig. If you haven't checked that out, do please give that a watch. That's now out on the channel. With Andoni, I think, it's all in good time. I think, and unfortunately, until he signs, everyone's going to be hoping. I mean, I'm hoping he signs. I know Paul's hoping he signs and stays with us. Obviously, the only people that know about that is obviously Andoni and the club. But until the news comes out, we just got to sit tight and hope he does sign. But I think he will. But like I said last night on the Dean Court social, time will tell. Time will tell. Dan Short, what concerns me is no contract for Andoni. Obviously, we just covered that one, Dan, just then. Darren Hurst, sorry, guys, have to step out for a meeting. Bloody work getting in the way of my Cherry AM fix. Well, you'll have to watch it on catch-up later, Darren. Thanks for always dropping in, Darren. It's always great to have you. And I know work comes at first, so we'll catch you soon. Paul, I honestly thought Brooks was not going to be here much longer, but I was totally wrong. He's playing better than ever and he has for us, not including that evening against Chelsea. Yeah, that evening against Chelsea. I do remember that. That was a great game, Tuesday night game, wasn't it? It's great that Brooks is signed again. And like you say there, he's playing, better than ever. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally. And Malcolm, all in good time with Andoni's contract. Just because there is no news doesn't mean anything. Look at how he does his contracts. No worries that he is staying. No worries that he is staying. No worries that he is staying.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, with Malcolm, I know Malcolm's got some, real strong views on Andoni's contract. And it is a case of, I think we just got to sit tight and wait, and time will tell. Time will tell. With Andoni's contract,
there was, Matt, a lot of speculation. I think it was last Easter when Bill came over. There was a lot of speculation in the press that he was going to sign.
Yeah, there was a lot of news about that, wasn't there?
And that didn't happen. I don't know whether that was just a press build-up thing, but I feel confident. I think he's in deep with Bournemouth. He obviously does have a say in the players we sign, and I think it's his project too.
Yeah.
He's involved in it, and I don't see him looking unhappy. He doesn't look unhappy on the touchline, does he?
No.
Unless we lose, but.
And with the players he's lost, he's been backed in the transfer window to bring in reinforcements. So, I don't think from a transfer perspective there's any issues for him. I mean, it is a case. I think we've just got to sit tight, enjoy the ride, and what happens. And fingers crossed he does sign. But at the minute, it's all just going to be talk until he does put pen to paper. Or decisions made, but I'm going to stay positive and just enjoy the ride as it goes on, and hopefully at the end of it we'll get the news we all want. Chris, I would start Hill at right back. Okay, interesting, Chris. We're going to come on to that next, I believe. And Dan Short, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. How many likes have we got at the minute? So we've got over 20 people watching at the moment, and we've got 12 likes, I think. 12 likes, guys. So if you're watching and haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do give us a like and a subscribe.
Matt, could I just say something about subscribing? When I've spoken to people over here and I say, just hit the subscribe button, the first question they say to me is, "Oh, how much does it cost to subscribe?" And I say, "No, it's free. It's a free. You can subscribe for free." I think some people have got it in their head that they actually
Yeah,
cost them money to
I think
subscribe
because of the
to the
word
channel.
subscribe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's free. Yeah,
yeah, you might be right there. Actually, I've
yeah.
never thought of that before.
They've asked me. Yeah, I've said, "No, you don't have to pay anything. Just push the button." "Are you sure?" I said, "Of course. Yeah, just press the button." Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why people get confused with that. Actually, to be
Mm,
fair.
mm,
Um, But let's move on. Let's chat about the right back spot in the team. Obviously, Smithy looks
mm,
like he's set to be out for a little while, which is a big blow. Obviously, the captain,
mm.
and we all know what we get with Smithy.
Yeah.
He's been a fantastic servant to this football club. So, I'm a Smithy fan. I just think the way he's looked after himself
Mm,
well into his 30s, I think he's a fantastic pro for a youngster to look up to for
mm,
longevity in your career. But he's going to be a big miss for Bournemouth. But we do have that spot to fill at the minute, and we do have some candidates now. Obviously, we do have James Hill, who can play across the back four, who I know quite a few people have called to play in that position. We do have a out and out right back in Arehu, who has recently been suspended but should be back into contention for this weekend. And then we do have our new signing, a very exciting prospect, who we've just signed on loan from AC Milan with a view to a permanent transfer, in Alex Jimenez.
yeah.
So I'm going to let Paul go first. He's going to point out who he thinks is going to start and why. Guys in the chat, if you haven't already, let us know who you guys think is going to start in
Mm.
that right back position. And then I shall give my thoughts on it. So, Paul, over to you. Who do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, okay. I want to just briefly touch on Smithy because for those of us that have played soccer, I've played soccer. I've had two terrible hamstring injuries. And when he went off the pitch, you could see he was holding the back of his leg high. It is definitely a hamstring strain. They'll do a scan on him to see the extent of the damage. But the good thing is that he came off quick. He got off that field pretty sharpish. It's when they try and carry on that they do the damage. I can remember from my experience of hamstring injuries. Honestly, it was one time I went 5 weeks and I came back and it went again. And this is the medical team's expertise is going to be called into play here. I don't think they're going to be in any hurry to bring him back. That's my opinion with Smithy. I think you probably see it with his age. As we get older, it takes harder as well. But I don't think he's going to be around for the next 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks, personally. Because the worst thing they can do is bring him back and do it again, the same thing. It's the worst thing that can happen. So he's out of the equation. I think we can all agree that Arahu has made himself a little bit lower down the pecking list. I don't think he's going to be starting. So it is a 50-50 job for me between Jimenez and Hill. Personally, my opinion, it's great that we've all got different opinions. I believe Hill will start due to the fact that he's played in that spot before. He knows the team members. Jimenez has been at the club a fortnight. But we saw it with Diakite. He came in straight away for the Liverpool game and he was brilliant. So, Matt, with your way of thinking, you've made me doubt my own call. And it's lovely. You've made me doubt myself. It'll be interesting to see. I'll be looking at that. But personally, I think you'll go with Hill. That's the short version. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can completely understand why the manager would go with Hill. I can understand that. And I can understand why.
Sorry, that's not saying that Jimenez won't get on. I think he could well get on. 70 minutes, he might bring him on. Who knows with the way he thinks he uses his subs, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like Malcolm said earlier, Hill
There
to start.
you go. Good. That's what I think. Yeah.
And I can understand why everyone thinks like that. I think slightly differently. I think if I was the manager, and with what I've seen of Alex Jimenez, I think he suits our play down to the ground. I think attacking wise and going forward, he's very, very good in possession of the ball. He's very, very good at long passes as well. He can turn a defending defending straight into attack with his long pinpoint passing. So and defensively, he looks pretty sound. So for me, I think if we're loaning this player in who's got so much potential, for me, and the way he looks, I mean, I've watched some footage of him on YouTube, and for me, I think he suits our play perfectly. So I think Hill can do a job at right back, 100%. Totally agree with everybody. He can do a job at right back, but for me, from an attacking perspective, I think Alex Jimenez would be the much better choice.
He could do it the other way around. He could do it your way. He could start Jimenez and take him off after an hour.
That way,
Bring him
yeah.
on.
It could be a case of, I mean, if Bournemouth are winning by a couple of goals, it might be a case that he wants to make us a bit more defensively sound and possibly bring Hill on in that sort of right back role. But then, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I just think personally, in terms from an attacking perspective, I think Alex Jimenez will get the nod from me.
Wow,
But,
I'll be interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see. We'll probably both be wrong, Paul, when Arehu gets the nod. I just think with Arehu, obviously, I think I do question him sometimes defensively.
Yep.
He's got some great pace. He really has.
Yep.
But I'm not 100% certain whether he can start ahead of the other two, to be honest.
No,
and one of those two that we're talking about is someone that's not naturally a right back, but can play across the whole back four. So, I think for me, he goes down the pecking order a little bit.
Yep.
But that's our views on it, guys. If you want to chuck any of your views in the comments, please do. Just jump back into the chat before we go on to the Brighton game. Obviously, my views on the Brighton game are in the match preview, so we'll be hearing from Paul on his thoughts. Dan Short, 15 likes. Okay, guys, thanks for that. 15 likes. If you're joining us, do please give us a like. That'd be great. Paul, completely off topic, but I learned this week that AFC in AFC Bournemouth stands for nothing. To my knowledge, it stands for Athletic Football Club.
Yeah, but I did hear the same thing, Matt. And they said, well, it was a report that I read in the week somewhere. I don't know where it was, but Paul's right. It was written down that they just wanted to get Bournemouth at the top of all the clubs by putting an A there before Arsenal, the whole lot of them, AFC Bournemouth. But we do know it, don't we, as Athletic Football Club? Yeah,
because before they changed the name, which I think it was Dixie Dowsett that changed the name, wasn't
Bournemouth and Boston Athletic Football Club. That's what it was.
Yeah, so I thought they just put the Athletic Football Club at the beginning to put at the top of the alphabet.
Yeah, I did read that.
That's the impression I've always been under since I've supported Bournemouth, that it stands for Athletic Football Club. But I haven't read that. I did. But bit of a strange one that. Malcolm, you got any? It'd be interesting to hear Malcolm's opinion on that. But from my perspective, it's always stood for Athletic Football Club.
You know what? You go back the history of Bournemouth as well, Matt. In the 60s, it was Boscombe. Everybody said, I'm going to see Boscombe. Bournemouth was never mentioned until the 70s when Bond came in, and it all suddenly got changed to AFC Bournemouth. It was always Boscombe. Yeah, we're going to watch Boscombe,
Yeah.
Because it is Boscombe, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Well, obviously the club's based there, but it was always, like I say, it was always a case that I think even until the club was, even the club's name was, born from Boscombe Athletic. So interesting. Paul, good day. You asked about Paul's finances.
Yeah.
So who's so there are 270 billion global
conglomerate
investment. Yeah, they see I'm just reading. They see the team's investment today. So they sell good players by developing players. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So what he was actually saying is then they they're buying players to make money, and they're moving them on. There you go.
Wow.
With
Mean it.
Wolves.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks,
You
John. That was.
you learn something new every day. Boscombe back of it's still a chant. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's still still a chant that we sing at the ground. Yeah, definitely. And I prefer the old chants though. The chants that have been about for years and years.
Come on, you Reds.
Yeah, and Boscombe back of the net, and sunny Bournemouth, and I used to love the one. What was it we used to sing for Machin Wonderland? It's I miss all the old chants. Always great to reminisce about them. So Brighton tomorrow, I think it's going to be a tough test. Last season, I thought their manager had us tactically spot on in the 2 games we played them. But Paul, your thoughts on the game?
I will. I'm actually going to do it the other way around. I'm actually going to give you my prediction first.
Okay.
Because I'm going to put my head on the block, mate, and I don't do this very often, but I think we're going to come out the traps fast. I think we're going to do them 3-0. And I don't say that very often. I think we missed that. Well, we miss chances? We made that many chances against Spurs. If we do that again, the percentages, we're going to score. We're making the chances. I think we're going to do them good. I think the tables are turned from last season. Last season, we lost both games 2-1, home and away. Just briefly, I'll give you my lineup map, which is different from a lot of other people. And the media are going for a draw. Most of the media seem to be saying it's going to be a draw or a score draw, which I don't agree with. I think Bournemouth are going to win. My team, obviously, I've got Petrovic in goal. Back 4, if I say Hill, the other 3 pick themselves, Diakite, Senesi and Trafford. So we've got those 4 at the back for me. Midfield, I'm going different here. I'm going Adams and Christie to start, which is a dynamic midfield. Adams and Christie to start. And alongside him in the middle, I'm not going with Alex Scott, I'm going with Kluivert. I think he'll revert to Kluivert. He's fit. I think he'll start him. That's my opinion. It's different from other people. Forward line picks itself. Brooks, Semenyo and Evan Nielsen. But that midfield for me is my starting lineup would be Adams, Christie and Kluivert. Because I watched Christie for Scotland and he played well. He wasn't on for long, but he played well. I like it. As far as Brighton are concerned, I've just done a few notes on Brighton. Might just some different opinions, but as I say, the media seem to be going for a draw. I think the players we need to watch is Matoma. He seems to be around in every game we play him. He seems to give us problems, Matoma. Even Welbeck at centre forward, you give him a chance, he'll score 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3, he'll score. Him, to me, I know he's getting on now, but he's still a good player. I mean, you've got James Milner. They seem to like to bring Milner on after an hour, 70 minutes, and he puts in that 20 minutes real hard running. I mean, he's no youngster, is he, James Milner?
No, but again, a great pro. I mean, I think he's 40, isn't he? Or very near. I've born the same year I was, and wow, great pro, a great pro.
They have been using him. In their last game, they stunned the football world. They beat Man City 2-1. But this is interesting, and I don't normally look at the stats on possession, but Brighton only had 36% possession in that game. And they won, wait for this, they won 76% of all tackles. So they were hard in the tackle. That low, it doesn't really suit Bournemouth, does it? We want them to have possession. We don't want them to have 36% possession. It seems to go against the way we play. In there, interesting thing, and then we'll move on in their other 2 games. They lost 2-0 at Everton. In that game, they had 57% possession, a higher possession. That was the game Grealish decided he wanted to play football for Everton. He came out of his shell and had a great game. But the next one, the first game they played, Brighton, they played against Fulham. And there were 6 yellow cards in that game. And what that over 3 each, but what that told me was that when things didn't go their way, the game became physical. They didn't like it. Brighton didn't like the fact that it was 1-1 and they seemed to get stuck in. I think Fulham scored late, but they weren't having that game their own way. So I'll be interested to see if it starts to get a bit physical. Dunk, he's a difficult character at the back at the best of times. He can get pretty physical, that guy. That's my opinion. I think we'll do them. And I'm often wrong, but it's only an opinion as such. That's my opinion on the game, Maddie. So we have to look back to get your opinion. So
for my opinions on the game and thoughts, so obviously have to check out the match preview that I did with Craig last night, which is out on the channel. I think it came out about 9:00 last night. Do give that a watch for my thoughts. But just before we move on to the next topic, just quickly pop back into the comments. Malcolm, does Paul remember the chant Roger Jones, Viva Roger Jones? Now, obviously, Roger Jones was a goalkeeper. So how did this chant actually go? Because I don't know it. So obviously before my time. Can you remember, Paul?
I wouldn't have a clue about the chant, but I remember Roger Jones. He come in for £30,000, which was a lot for a goalkeeper in those days. He followed David Best, who was considered a better keeper than Roger Jones, but we had two good goalies there for a time, and I think David Best went off somewhere, Leicester. I can't remember where he went somewhere, signed for another team, and we got Roger Jones. He was a great keeper. Roger Jones, really good goalie. We were lucky. That would have been late 60s, Roger Jones. I don't remember the chant, but I was always sent down to get the tea half the time, so I missed half the game. But when my parents took me to the football, they'd always send me down to get a cup of tea, and they'd score a goal. Bournemouth would score, But that's just old chat there. But don't remember a thing about it, Mel.
Yeah. So Roger Jones.
Unless it was like the Equals, Viva Bobby Joe. That song, Viva Bobby Joe. It's probably.
It looks like that's the one.
It does, the Equals, Viva Bobby Joe. I'm not going to sing, Matt. You've had that, but.
You sure you don't want to give us?
No. I'll let Malcolm.
Vocals or not or
no.
The floor's yours if you want to.
No way. No.
No. Yeah.
Great
Roger
goalie.
Jones. Yeah. 78.
He actually, you know what, Matt? He was one keeper. And David Best. They used to catch the ball in those days. They actually used to catch it in the air. There was none of this nonsense of palming it away and deflecting it and all that. They'd actually catch the ball and hold the ball.
Yeah, I've seen footage of. I love watching the old. I've got a DVD somewhere of like all the old match of the days from like the 70s, and you see like Ray Clements and Peter Shilton and Banksy and all these keepers, and they're catching the ball when you're like, they're taught these days to goalkeeping has become a real art now. I think, isn't it?
Punching.
And
none of that.
And it's all more with your feet now. You got to be able to be good with your feet. Whereas, when I was at school, if you weren't good with your feet, you went in goal. But this day and age, you've got to be good with your feet as well, haven't you? But Roger Jones. I've done some research on Roger Jones before for something that we've done on the channel because I do remember that he started at Pompey, then come to Boscombe, born from Boscombe Athletic. He played for quite a few clubs. Went off to Blackburn in
that's what I said. Yeah.
Blackburn, and that's where he made most of his career appearances. He played 242 times, and then had spells at Newcastle, Stoke, Derby County, Birmingham City on loan, and York City as well. And he also earned one cap in 1968. So while he was at Bournemouth, he earned one cap for the England under-23s. So there you go. You go.
I mean, to play for that many clubs, Matt, he's obviously a great keeper. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, he is a good manager. Do you know what he speaks better German than Craig? Yeah, to be fair, I think most people do. Malcolm, to be honest, after Craig's attempt yesterday, but yeah, no. I said in the preview, you know, he's a manager I rate really highly. I mean, he come out of nowhere, really, didn't he? And I remember when they announced him, I was like, never heard of him, but made a real good impact. And I think for them to miss out just on European football last year in his first season was, you know, very, very impressive. But yeah, there you go. The chant was to the tune Bobby Joe
by the Equals. That's right, Malcolm. Yeah.
And I think he's laughing there because I said to you, you could take the floor and give us a sing song. Come on, you Reds, absolutely. Chris Hubble, absolutely. Pat Jennings used to catch the ball with one hand. Wow, there you go. That's an art in itself. And Paul, talking of keepers, did keeper break the goalpost with his head at Dean Court? Wasn't that the Wolves Cup quarter final at Molineux? Was it Reg Cutler that ran into the goalpost and he brought the goalpost down in 1950? Was it 1957?
57.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do remember. Well, I don't remember it, but I remember my granddad.
My dad would have been there. Yeah,
my granddad telling me that.
Yeah,
that was the great cup run of that year, and we went up to Molineux, and I think they were champions of England at the time, Wolves, weren't they? Because they were a big side in the 50s. And
Billy Wright. I think they had Billy Wright was their captain. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was Reg Cutler, I think, that brought the goalpost down. But yeah, no, good memories. Good. That's jogged. I'm sure that's jogged some memories in people. So thanks for that. Yeah. So obviously we've had your thoughts on the Brighton game. Did you want to touch very quickly on the Spanish connection and before we wrap up?
Yeah, I will do, mate. I was reading in the week, like Paul, you know, we all read clips here, there and everywhere, that Bournemouth actually have 17 professional scouts worldwide. Even where I am, I'm sure there's one over here in Australia. And I was just looking and I thought, you know, you start at the top of the club with Andoni, Spanish, you know, the manager, Spanish. And you look through the players that in the last 2 years have come and gone from Bournemouth. And there always seems to be this big Spanish connection. And I think there's a lot of work being put into the Spanish, a lot of viewing of Spanish games, etc. And at the moment, as I was saying off air to Matt, I think Spain are going to feature heavily in next year's World Cup because they're a world-class side at the moment. They'd have to be in the top three teams in the world. And I think to be looking at their sort of leagues is a good thing. Somebody knows what they're doing at Bournemouth. You start with Iriola, the Spanish. You start with, again, Dean Howson. I know he's Dutch, but he chose to take Spanish start again. He chose Spanish nationality and plays for Spain. A connection there with Real Madrid. Julio Soler, Spanish, came in from overseas. Alex Jimenez, Spanish, the new signing. So many of them. We've got even Julio Araujo, who is Mexican, but at the time he was signed for Bournemouth, he was playing for Barcelona, Spanish team. Everything links back to Spain. Here we go, Patrick Kluivert. I know he's Dutch. He was signed. He was viewed when he was playing on loan with Valencia. Bournemouth got him after that. They must have seen him at Valencia, picked him up. You keep going. Even Kepa, who I used to be able to pronounce his name, whatever it is. Anyway, Kepa, he was on loan at Real Madrid when we viewed him playing for Real Madrid. And there's so many links there with the Spanish league. Oh, so do I, Paul. I agree totally with that comment. I mean, they beat Turkey, I think, last week 5-0 away from home. There is a huge Spanish connection. Be interesting to see how we go in the next break at Christmas in the transfer market, if we pick any more Spanish people, because it's done us proud, hasn't it? Done us proud winning with Spanish, bringing in Spanish players have been good. I'm looking forward to seeing that Jimenez, Matt, when he gets going. It'll be interesting to see what he's all about. I like it. There you go, Soler. But I think he was playing in the. You might be right, Paul, but I think he was playing in the Spanish league? I'm not sure.
I think we signed him from an Argentinian club, Paul.
Oh,
To
I
be
got
honest.
that wrong. There you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
think
thought
from an Argentinian club. Because I remember when he first signed, Craig got was it one of the journalists from Argentina to come on and did a show and spoke about him, and he was saying how they believe out in Argentina, he's going to become world class. So I think, on that one, I'm pretty certain he was.
You're right.
Can't remember the name of the club, but I'm pretty certain it was Argentina on that one.
Even with Marcus Senesi, another Argentinian, they're South American. It's that sort of blend, that Latin. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, the Latin connection. There's a lot of Spanish in there, but the Latin connection, we've got a lot of it. I mean, even Evan Nielsen's Brazilian, so it's all there, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of the countries down there speak Spanish as well, don't they?
Very much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, some interesting points there. We're going to touch quickly on a comparison that myself and Paul have
picked up on
with one of our players and comparing him to an England legend. But let's just quickly jump back into the comments. David Da Costa, with our Spanish connection, we will be Costa de Bournemouth. Definitely. Anthony, hope you're well. Great to see you join us. Hi Matt, I hope you're well. I got Bournemouth down for a draw this weekend. Yeah, do you know what? That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I think Brighton are a good side, so I've gone for you'll have to tune into the match preview to find out for what I've gone with. But a draw would be a decent point. And I think maybe quite a few people might put Bournemouth and Brighton down as a draw for tomorrow.
You know what, Matt? I think, Andoni loves his substitutions on the hour, 65, 70 minutes. We've got an extremely strong bench there. And I think that could be the difference. I think so. You get Adley out there. I mean, we've seen him. He can run. As Gannon Doak, I don't know if he'll get on the pitch. Who knows with Andoni? You just don't know.
Yeah, that is true.
I can't see him taking Semenyo off, but who knows? Krupi, he's not quite there yet for me, but he's fast legs, so we'll just see.
Yeah.
One thing's for sure, mate. If Kluivert's on the pitch, if we get a penalty, we're 1-0 up, which I love. So they'll know all about his penalty taking. But,
that is true. That is true. But thank you to Anthony. Anthony does a lot of different podcasting stuff. He's an Arsenal fan, but he does a lot of work on the Hammers channel with Tony. He does the Good and the Bad and the Ugly show, and he does the Sunday Night Takeaway, which I watch quite often, to be fair, or listen to. So he does some good content with those guys. So do check their channel out. Chris Hubble, I'm going with a Bournemouth home win, 3-1. Yeah, fair play. I think that might have been a similar scoreline to Malcolm's. Malcolm might have been 3-1 or 3-2, something like that. I think he said
4. I think he said 4-1.
Oh, was it 4-1? Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. David Da Costa's going with 2-1. Sounds familiar. And Anthony, haven't seen James Gordon for he's good. Yeah, Craig is good. I've not had much take up from his lookalike as James Corden. I have got him on several lookalike websites, but no one seems to be biting. No one wants to hire him for a party, unfortunately. But he's all good. He's all good. Thanks, Anthony. And again, thanks for popping in. It's always good to see you. Just one last thing before we quickly wrap up. Myself and Paul have been discussing Adrian Chauffeur, and there's a certain player that he reminds us of, and for a couple of reasons. But Paul, would you like to enlighten everybody with what we've been discussing?
Yeah, well, if people can remember Psycho, I'll give you a clue. Psycho. was his nickname. He was also known as Psycho. Stuart Pearce. I just noticed, if you watch him closely, Adrian Trafford, what a signing. We haven't noticed that there's been any transfers out, have we? We haven't noticed anybody's gone, but the way he plays football reminds me of Stuart Pearce. The way he runs, the way he breaks away down the line. Obviously, Stuart Pearce was a heck of a tackler. He hasn't quite got that bulldog tackle on him that Stuart Pearce had on him. I mean, people were frightened of Stuart Pearce, I think, but he's certainly. I just saw a lot of similarities in his play. Have a look on Saturday, you guys, when you watch the game. You know, it's interesting. It was just my pickup on it. I thought, wow, it just reminds me of Stuart Pearce. But great player. What do you reckon, Matt?
Yeah, now when you mentioned it to me yesterday, and I had a look again, I familiarised myself with Stuart Pearce. I mean, Stuart Pearce was a hero of mine. I mean, I remember, Euro '96 and that Spain game where he took the penalty, and obviously that was the first penalty he took for England since the miss in Italia '90. And it's just that goal celebration, that he did after scoring that penalty. He just sort of was like one of my early England heroes that I can remember. That I can remember that far back. But yeah, I can see the comparisons there.
Yeah.
I can see the comparisons there, definitely. And I'm going to watch him a bit differently this weekend. I'm going to study him a little bit.
I think you call it a raking run. I can't describe the way he runs. He runs. I don't know how to describe it, but if you watch him, there's definitely similarities there. I noticed it in the first game against Liverpool, but great asset, mate. As I say, we haven't missed everybody in the left back position, have we? Let's be honest.
No, absolutely, and I think, again, all the players that have come in have been, I think, fantastic signings, and
brilliant.
Again, just testament to our recruitment department, as I've said time and time again. But that's an interesting one. And when you made that point, I thought, I'm gonna have to watch it a bit. Have a look
at it. Yeah.
And Stuart Pearce, like you say, in the tackle, I think if you were playing against him, it would be a very, very tough game, especially with the way Pearcey used to love to throw his body on the line. England hero.
Of course, if you tackled the way Stuart Pearce does today, you'd probably get a card straight away, because he used to go through players, didn't he? The game's changed. You can't do that anymore. You can take the ball. I mean, we've seen some stupid VAR decisions on tackles I've ever seen in my life. But you go back to Stuart Pearce's day, his tackles. If you were a winger going down there, you'd think twice about wanting the ball and taking him on, because you knew he'd slide tackle you straight away. He'd take you out, without a blink of an eye. But today, we've seen some tackles, and Tyler Adams, heavy, is a big tackler. And there's times, you look at it. I mean, last year Zavagné, when his foot come off the top of the ball in that tackle, I think he got sent off, didn't he? In that match last season, 10 years ago that would have been acceptable. That was but out of control. What's out of control and what isn't? We won't go there because we could talk all night, but VAR has brought another level into tackling, which is just ridiculous to me. But anyway.
Yeah, the VAR thing, you can probably be, you would probably still be here at 4:00 this afternoon.
I agree. They slow everything down. They look at the worst angle possible. And the guy, and Zavagné's tackle. I mean, how's that a send-off? He didn't go in with an intention to hurt him, but he got sent off. Another player will do it the following week and he'll get away with it.
Yeah, it's inconsistent. Yeah, it certainly is.
Sorry, Maddie.
No, that's fine.
We don't want to go down that road.
The whole VAR thing, I mean, you could do. I mean, I'm still waiting for Craig to do his VAR show. He was meant to be doing a whole show on VAR and his opinions. I think Malcolm was going to join him on it as well. But no, we haven't seen that yet. But it will be interesting to see what Mr. Beasley will come out with when he does a show all about VAR. But I know he's still in the chat. So we're just going to go back to the chat for one last time before we wrap up for this week. Totally agree, Paul. Never looked at Never looked at him that way. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't either, and I'm gonna look at him a bit more closely now. So it's a good comparison. We kind of got some Joker in the house as well. We currently have David Brent on the screen. For those that don't know who David Brent is, check out the comedy series The Office. I'm sure you probably don't know who David Brent is, Paul, but
oh, I do. I've watched him sing. Yeah, he's love it.
Oh,
The Office, classic.
right. Well, obviously we say that Craig looks like James Corden, and apparently I look like David Brent. So, David, Tim's put my stapler in the jelly again. Yeah, that's a quote from the series. Yeah. Malcolm, have a great weekend, everyone, and enjoy the game tomorrow. Certainly will enjoy the game tomorrow. And I'm sure we will catch up at some point, Malcolm. So I'm sure we'll speak soon. Yeah, you showed him a weakness. He pounced. You should know about that. Yeah. Craig's coming out with the quotes at the minute. So, we've gone from football topics to Craig's poor comedy. David Costa, great chat, great show. Great to have you with us, David, as always. Thank you for joining us. And the last one in the chat at the minute. Yes, Ricky Gervais, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Yes. And thanks, lads, for the great show. And thank you, Paul, for joining us every day, as always. Always appreciate you joining us.
Be nice to see who Paul Sant is. I've no idea. I know he's an older person, but he's on every weekday, and he makes some great comments. Paul, well done. Keep your contributions going, Maddie. We love it. Really good stuff.
Yeah, 100% echo that. Yeah, 100% echo that. Yeah. So that's it for another week, Cherry AM. We've come to the end. It's Friday. There's no cherry picking out at 9 o'clock this morning. Cherry picking will return next week, I believe. And there's the Deep Court Social, the match preview for the Brighton game to check out. There's also a cherry picker that came out at the weekend. It was a cherry picking international special with myself and Johnny Blair, where we picked an all-French Bournemouth side. So there were some interesting names that cropped up there from the past, and there's also quite a few current names in there as well. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. But other than that, guys, we will be back Monday. There'll be obviously a combination of the guys between Monday and Thursday, and myself and Paul will be back next Friday. So once again, thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody for the support with Cherry AM every day. And until the next one, guys, all that's left to say is fingers crossed that we get the win at the weekend. I'm sure we will. But until the next one, guys, up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries. Yeah.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.